So yesterday, I was the Daily Celeb, and we have a bunch of scores of people who played against me. Good morning. Yes. People did really well against me. So I figured we'd take a look at the top 3 players. And scorecard for Peter Pan. So we can actually take a look at what I did on each board. I'm going to go in board order. So we'll start with board 1. And this was what I did on the hand. I think we should be able to pull up, yes, like this, a little bit differently. And so I'm not going to go over my decisions all that well. I think I'll leave a link in the description, or maybe I'll post something up here to link to yesterday's video. If you want to check out how I played through the boards. But this is what I did. I really like our auction on this hand. We got to a pretty reasonable spot. And after the opening diamond lead, I slightly mistimed the play here. I would have spent a little bit more time and been more careful at the table, but I ended up unblocking the diamond king. I think this is a mistake. I should have just let a spade at trick 2 rather than unblocking the king of diamonds. Then I let a spade, and the point was after a third diamond, which is probably a silly play from East, when I started cross-ruffing the black suits on the third club, West was able to pitch a spade before I got a second spade ruff in the south hand, and this made the ending a little bit precarious. I'm up to 7 tricks, and I still need 2 more from the trumps. Ended up playing a spade, pitching a club, but East ended up switching to hearts for me. So West won the ace, and I got 2 more tricks in the end for plus 140, which I think is the clear correct way to play the hand at match points once you've gotten to 3 hearts, especially because a lot of the field, I know for a fact, ended up getting to 4 hearts on this hand. So let's see what Peter Pan did on the board. Great username, by the way. Apparently some junior. Ace of Spades Juniors. I don't know what that's even from, but maybe they have their own bridge club or something. A spade, 2 clubs. What system are they playing? Natural game force. Okay. Sure. Yeah. We know that they're fitting in with the junior vibe now. Game forcing a misfitting 11 count with 3 queens opposite partner's opening bid. Yeah, kind of crazy. Spade, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 4 hearts. Fast arrival. I think also a pretty big error. If you judge this hand as a game force, you have to bid 3 hearts here. You need to let partner have enough room for Q-bidding. Seems extremely ambitious. It is. It is. But how'd they play it? Because the hand goes quite well with both hearts and clubs lying favorably. Diamond opening lead around to the ace, and Declare immediately takes the club finesse. So you're already in a situation where, like, match point wise or border match wise, like, you need the club finesse to be working. Otherwise, you're in some pretty serious trouble on this hand. Plays a spade to the 10. So they don't go after clubs. I wonder why. If you get 2 clubs, 3 diamonds, you still need 5 trump tricks to make the hand from there if you're playing for a cross ruff. I think it makes a lot more sense to go ace of clubs, club ruff here and try and set up the clubs. But let's see what happens. So spade to the 10 and jack. East switches to hearts to prevent a cross ruff. But this makes Declare's life a lot easier. I mean, if East had just played back a spade, for example, killing entries to the south hand, Declare might have had some trouble setting up clubs from there. But a heart comes back, goes to the ace, a heart return, and now Declare just has no difficulty, right? Unblocks the diamond, roughs a spade, diamond pitch a spade. Ace of clubs, club ruff, spade ruff. They have 1 high trump, but West eventually scores the 9 of hearts. I think Declare could have handled this better, right? They didn't give themselves the chance to play for 3-3 clubs to try and make 11 tricks after the opponent's trump play. Like, they could have won the king of hearts, club to the queen, club ruff. And if clubs split, then they could just pull the last trump, run the clubs, unblock the diamonds. They have 11 tricks. So I think a little bit mistimed as well in the play there. But they do get the win. Let's take a look at what... Okay, so I could go through each player. It's my first time doing this. I need to come up with a format that I like. I kind of want to see all of the same hand in a row, but maybe it's just more convenient to go through the scorecard. That way I can introduce like my lines of play as well. No, this is dumb. We'll go through the first hand at everyone's table. Oh my God, 6 clubs on board. I don't even remember board 3, but that is not what I did. 4 hearts. So how did they get there? A spade, 2 clubs, game forced once again. Pretty ambitious. 2 hearts, 3 hearts. So I like this decision a lot more. I mean, it says slam try, but it could just be a minimum. It's just fast arrival is something that you should never be bidding. Just avoid bidding fast arrival if at all possible. 4 hearts by North. So how did the play go? Diamond opening lead. Once again, wins the king, takes a club finesse. I like this start. Ace of clubs and a club. So I think this is absolutely the right way to go about playing this hand. Try and set up the long clubs and you might make 11 tricks, right? You're under the impression that the field is going to be in 4 hearts. Otherwise, you might try and play safe for 10. Whoa. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait just a second there. Club to the 7 of hearts and declare discards. Oh boy. I mean, you can certainly get in trouble by over-ruffing, but it still seems more productive to over-ruff this trick. Like, if you lose this trick, and then you lose the ace of spades, which obviously you will, you still have to pick off the jack of hearts, and if you can't do that, then you're just going to go down. Whereas if you over-ruff this trick, and then you can afford to lose 2 hearts and a spade. Over-ruffing with the king feels bad. I don't think it's as clear-cut as maybe I'm making it sound that you should over-ruff here, but it's like, let me try and paint an analogy here, right? Because like you're letting the opponent score a small ruff. It's not like you have a useful loser to discard on this. And you're going to get stuck in the north hand anyway with like a diamond. So like, then what's your plan? Are you then leading the king of hearts out of the north hand? Or are you leading a low heart to the queen? Or are you leading a low heart to the 10? Like, this could be the right play. So this isn't like a 0% thing, but this seems very strange to not over-ruff. North pitches a spade. West switches to spades to the queen and king. Interesting choice. Probably doesn't matter too much. Then a diamond comes back to the ace. And now declares in a position where they're going to have to play on the hearts. Over-ruffing is kind of like leading a heart to the king. Yeah, but we also get to set up clubs along the way, which is nice. So declare now appears to be going for a cross ruff. Spade ruff. They lead another club. This time West doesn't ruff. And now declare goes after hearts. Heart to the queen. A diamond comes. What happens if West plays a spade here? So declare ruffs. Oh, and then just cashes the queen of diamonds to pitch a spade. Okay, never mind. I'm going crazy. And then pulls trumps. But I mean, like, declare doesn't know trumps split anyway. Heart to the king, trumps do split, and now declare can basically cross ruff the rest, making 10 tricks. So, an interesting line of play. I mean, maybe not the best plan, but a good enough one to get the job done. And let's head back and check in on Heart76, our third competitor. Looks like a lot of people duplicated some of these results. So spade and no trump, 2 hearts, 4 hearts. I think this is the alternative to the auction that I chose. But like I mentioned in my video, there's a lot of reasons for not game forcing with the south hand. So I don't need to go over that again. What was their line of play though? Diamond opening lead around to the king. Also takes the immediate club finesse, I think a good plan. Ace of clubs, goes after the clubs. This time, West discarded. Is this because of the system difference that, well, not system difference, the different auction that was chosen? A little bit strange. I mean, it's just kind of random that the robots do these things, but club discarded and ruffed. Now declare leads the king of hearts. I think it's better to lead a low heart to the 10 rather than lead the king of hearts, just in case there's like a singleton ace or something or whatever, but this is fine. So king of hearts around to the ace. Diamond comes back. Declare leads a heart up to the queen. Ruffs their last club, but West does get to ruff in front, or, okay, apparently discard, but the 9 of hearts does get promoted on another spade. Ruffed and over-ruffed, and Declare has the rest. So this was a very well-played hand by Declare, and works out in the bidding. Let's move on to board 2. Okay, board 2. So what I ended up doing on this board was, I think I made the wrong opening lead, and that just magically worked because I think we're supposed to lead second highest is what Leah expects, because watch what happens here. This was incredible. Spade to the 9. Leah wins the queen, which I think this is already probably the wrong start for Leah. You led the king of clubs on this one, Koopa. It didn't work out well. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea to lead the opponent's suits in general. Declare decides to run 4 rounds of hearts, but now Declare has to make a discard from hand. So they decide to pitch a spade, which like already gives up their communication in the spade suit, and prevents them from scoring the king of spades if we just like play on diamonds and clubs, for example. I pitch a couple of clubs, they lead a club to the 9, they stick in the jack, so I win the queen, and I continue another spade. And Leah, assuming that I must have the ace of spades because I've led a low spade at trick 1, hops up with the king, trying to get an extra dummy entry, because now they can take a club finesse. So partner wins the ace of spades and plays a spade back. And we just get to cash a couple of spades. I mean, I do get end played here, unfortunately. Partner could have done better by, say, pushing the queen of diamonds through earlier. But, you know, Declare does have counters to all of these things. So I ended up getting out ace and a diamond and playing Declare into giving me the club king at the end of play. But it's interesting, and like I would have done this as well if we go back to the start of play. I mean, I would not have taken this line of play. This line of play by Leah is insane, but I certainly would have assumed that South had the ace of spades if their opening lead agreements were to lead second highest from a bad suit. So I understand why Leah did what she did. But let's see. I assume our counterpart did approximately the exact same thing. They led a low spade. And from here, I mean, the play is just going to look identical. Club to the jack, South elected to win the king rather than the queen. Cashes out, exits ace and a diamond. So not much to the play on this one. It was just a push. If you led the wrong card. I suspect we probably all did about the same thing. So maybe I'll quickly step through these. 4 of spades lead, 4 rounds of hearts, club to the jack and queen, spade to the ace. Very similar. And then also at the third table for heart, let's take a look. Spade to the 9 and queen. Yeah, same 4 spades lead, and then same spade back. So it all ended up coming out the same, but kind of crazy overall. All right, let's head back. Board 3, they get to 4 no trump. So this was a hand. We had, what did I have? A 14 count, right? And so I opened club, I rebid a no trump, and ended up playing in 3-no. And the opening lead was the 10 of hearts. I ended up winning the ace. And lots of things to think about, but I just played a spade to the jack. West won the ace, returned a heart, and there was no squeeze. I ran the clubs, but East held on to the spades and West held on to the diamonds. So ending up with 11 tricks. Felt pretty flat in general. I mean, it's a little bit sad that we missed out on possible club slam, but I think we did okay. But a lot of the field ended up beating me on this one. So let's take a look at what happened here. It looks like a bit of a different system was played, right? Because one spade does not show an unbalanced hand for this pair. So they just rebid a spade, 2 hearts, game forcing. 2-no, is this going to make the auction more readable? No, not really, but I guess we'll just leave this view open. So 2-no, some sort of balanced hand. 3 clubs, showing a club fit. 3-no, no aces, no real interest in slam, and North bids 4-no quantitative. Now I wonder if South should be making a move over this. South has not limited their hand yet until we got to 3-no trump. Like, one spade is not very limiting. I mean, they didn't jump shift, so yeah, like 12 to 18 or something. But 2 hearts game forcing, so 2-no could still have the full maximum values. 3-no trump is the first time that South has showed any sort of limiting factor to their hand. I don't know if 12 to 17 is the right description, but it should be. I mean, it can't really be 12 to 17, right? Assuming this description is right based on the suits. South is balanced, therefore it has to be 12 to 14. And then 4-no quant. Enterprising to bid 6 clubs over 4-no. Yeah, a lot of it does depend on how much North knows about South's hand. If South really is truly limited to like a 12 to 14 hand, then South has a really good 12 to 14. They have maximum in terms of high card points, and they have strong clubs and a few kings. I know we're missing aces, but partner probably is the one with all the aces, right? When they're making this quantitative invite and we have this. So I'm not sure the lack of aces is a concern. I'm also not sure the lack of distribution is a concern. Maybe we would prefer to have like the queen of spades and jack of hearts as opposed to queen of hearts and jack of spades. I think that's like the only small thing that I would prefer with this hand. Like we could have a 5th club, of course. We could be 4-2-2-5 for the auction, which would be a little bit better. But maybe it's worth looking into bidding the club slam here. Like if partner has ace doubleton of spades, we're in pretty good shape, right? We get to rough 2 spades in partner's hand, hopefully. So I think there is reason to move past 4 now. It's a little bit scary at match points, for sure, to move past 4 now or board a match, but I think it would be reasonable to do so. Let's see how the play went, though. The 7 of spades lead. I'm starting to understand how people were going plus 490 on this board. Like, I don't know. We got 10, 9, 8, fourth of hearts. It's the fourth suit. Maybe we should be leading that one. 7 of spades to the queen and king. Okay, it hasn't exactly blown the defense yet. Declare works on clubs. King of clubs. Club to the ace. Club back. And West throws a diamond. Declare doesn't have 4 hearts. They didn't bid a heart over a diamond. Declare has 4 spades. Just pitch hearts, West. What are you doing? I mean, I guess West is getting squeezed anyway, right? But Declare might not know it. Because technically what could happen... So let's step back a trick. Can I play? No, hold on. How do I... Yes, play. Here we go. So club, jack, queen, heart, right? 10 of clubs, heart. East can throw... Doesn't really matter. Let's say East also pitches hearts. But now we can play 3 rounds of hearts. And West actually gets squeezed. So we play 3 rounds of hearts. And we lead the jack of hearts. East can pitch a spade. Doesn't really matter. If West throws a diamond, all the diamonds are good. And if West pitches a spade, technically Declare can exit a low spade here. And they would have to. I mean, they could win the 3rd round of hearts and dummy and lead a low spade and then duck. But same effect, right? You would have to play West for having underled ace 3rd of spades in this position. I mean, I guess it doesn't cost, because if they take 2 spade tricks, then fine. You were going to lose the 4th diamond anyway, but still, like, this is just crazy. You know, a better play might be to lead a low spade to the jack at this point, win the 3rd hardened dummy and play spade, low jack, something like that. But... You know, it's like you can't cash 3 diamonds first and then do this, because then you lose the entry to the jack of spades. So West realized they were getting squeezed, I guess, maybe, and therefore they pitched a diamond early. Silly West. But yeah, pretty inhuman play from West, and I guess that makes things easy for the defenders. What happened at the other tables, though? I think both of the other players did get to 6 clubs. Let's take a look at their auctions. Club, a diamond, a spade, so same type of agreement. They aren't playing 1 spade, shows an unbalanced hand. 2 hearts, 3 no. Yeah, so this is the thing. In game-forcing auctions, jumps to 3 no are not fast arrival. That's not what this bid shows. If you play this as fast arrival, then it becomes more difficult to distinguish between the 15 to 17 hands and the 18 to 19 hands. So that's why you want this jump to 3-0 to be the middle range, so that there's a much larger separation between the 12 to 14 and 18 to 19 on one end. This was... I mean, maybe South intended to show the hand as 15 to 17, but that's not what they have. They have like a kind of mediocre 14 count. 4 clubs by North. Slam try fitting. South once again trying to sign off. Maximum 2 cards among aces and king, queen of trump. Sure. I mean, sure. Like, whatever. I don't know. Like, I would just cubid, but of course we've already overbid with 3 now. And North obviously takes the plunge, jumping to 6 clubs, or bidding 6 clubs with all of their aces. So how'd the play go? Let's take a look. Heart opening lead. Declare wins the king. Pulls trumps. And West throws a diamond. You still have to guess the spades, but like, why is everyone pitching diamonds? There's a 4-card diamond suit in dummy, and South doesn't have 4 hearts. We don't need to hold on to the hearts. This blows my mind. All right, king of diamonds, diamond to the ace, queen of diamonds, pitch a spade, diamond pitches. Oh, we roughed our winning diamond. No problem. That's okay. Queen of hearts, heart to the ace, and now you have to guess the spades. So Declare has done a really good job of delaying their guess in spades, trying to collect as much information as possible. And so in the end, it wouldn't have mattered if West had kept a diamond. Declare would have found out that West started with 4 diamonds and 4 hearts still, or maybe West could have pitched a spade. They lead a spade up, and they guess correctly. I mean, nothing to anticipate here. We know the final result is 920. But should Declare have guessed the spades correctly? I don't know. I mean, I think it's random a little bit. This just feels like a 50-50 guess to me for the most part. Like, West is never leading spades, right? Because we bid 1 spade in this auction, right? Wink, wink. So, I don't think that we gain any information from the opening lead in this case. But there we go. And I think we saw the other player, Heart 76, also bid 6 clubs. Let's take a look at their auction on this one. Whoop, that's my auction. My bad. So club, a diamond, a spade. Same system, I guess. I'm going to keep checking just in case one of these pairs is playing 1 spade, shows an unbalanced hand. 2 hearts, 2 no. Very good. Looks good so far. 3 clubs fitting. 3 no. Sign off. So this was the same auction that we saw from that first pair or first player. And then over 4 no, South did take the push with 5 no. I like this sequence from South. I've been very impressed with whoever Heart 76 is so far. They've both bid and played the hands pretty well. I mean, this is only the second board. Maybe I'll have something to complain about. We'll see. Yeah, 5 no is a good decision. I mean, we already talked about why South kind of has a maximum. And this is why you should think about your hand in context so far. Like, yes, okay, maybe it says 3 no's 11 to 16, but in reality, this really should be like 12 to 14 or 11 to 14. So South kind of has a maximum despite having no aces and like no real shape, but they've already really showed that. You need to think about like your range of hands, and this range of hands, South would bid the same way without the heart queen. Or if the king of diamonds was like the jack of diamonds, right? So South has a pretty decent hand, all things considered. No 5th club, not ideal. You know, king jack of spades, not the greatest holding, but I think overall it's a pretty reasonable hand to take a push. 10 of hearts lead, they win the ace. Club to the king, club to the ace. Pull a 3rd round of trumps. West once again throws a diamond. So king of diamonds, diamond to the ace, queen of diamonds, diamond. They were counting. Not that it really matters. King of hearts, they dump the queen. Jack of hearts, getting as much info as possible. And now, once again, we don't need to delay the guess. Spade to the jack. Nicely done. On to board 3. So back to Peter Pan over here. Or sorry, on to board 4. We just looked at board 3. So this is what happened to me. Oh my god, this hand. I mean, just look at the difference in results. But we have to look at what happened at my table, because what is partner doing? So I led a heart. Pretty reasonable. I mean, the auction, a diamond, no trump. We lead 4th best. Heart around to Declare's jack. Now, I have no idea why Leah played on diamonds instead of spades. This still, I can't explain this. Like, playing on spades is, like, clear and automatic from East side here, and instead Declare played on their weak diamond suit. Diamond to the king. So I continue to heart. I mean, maybe I could have switched to clubs. I mean, honestly, I considered switching to the queen of spades here, which would not have been successful. But maybe it would have been better than what happened at the table. So queen of hearts comes back. Declare continues another diamond. Partner wins the jack. And partner switches to the jack of clubs, which is fine. I mean, I think partner should probably play back a heart because I seem intent on setting up the suit. But switching to the jack of clubs is okay. Around to the ace. Another diamond. Now partner sets up my heart suit. Declare cashes the 10 of diamonds. I pitch one of my heart winners. And Declare now leads a spade. to the 10, and partner wins the ace and plays back a spade. I mean, look, like, it's all fine. And like, I'm not going to go deep into like the analysis on this board. I did a little bit of that during my video. Of course, we don't get to do like seriously detailed analyses, but obviously these one no trump contracts are very challenging to play. Koopa, it goes differently when you continue the Queen of Hearts instead of the 5. That's crazy. It's like the more information partner gets, the less likely they are to succeed, I guess. Anyway, let's take a look at what happened in the other room. So diamond and no trump, the same auction. They also lead a 4th best heart around to the 10 and jack, diamond to the king. They continue the 5 of hearts. So, you know, we don't need to do any of these things to tell our partner about the 5 of hearts. What we do need to do is tell partner what our heart suit is from, or what our heart lead is from. I mean, I guess if we're leading second best from a bad holding, partner knows we have the queen or the king, but they don't know which, right? So leading back the queen tells them that our hearts are queen 9-8 rather than king 9-8. And, you know, maybe leading back the 5 of hearts would tell them that we're king 9-8 or something like that. But East bid a no trump, not a heart. So East can't have 4 hearts, or at least they shouldn't have 4 hearts. So partner knows we have a 5th heart. We don't need to lead back the 5 to let them know that. I think a lot of players are just nervous about leading back high cards because they're like, well, high cards take tricks. But if you're paying attention, the 10 of hearts and jack were played at trick 1. So diamond went to the king. The 5 of hearts comes back. I'm excited to see what happens next. Declare now leads a spade. I mean, this is a fine play. I don't know why Declare didn't lead spades immediately, but Declare probably should have done that because now they're playing a spade to the jack. You let a 5 to make it suit preference for clubs. Yeah, I think partner's going to realize holding the ace of spades that you don't want them to lead spades. But that's a reasonable thought, to let partner know that you have something of worth in clubs. And then South continued a club rather than continuing hearts. Makes sense. You don't have an entry anymore. So they switched the 5 of clubs to the king. Now East, worried that they were never going to get their king of hearts later, cashes it. Fine. King of hearts. They pitch a club, though, which means South now has an entry to the long hearts if that ace of clubs gets dislodged. Spade goes to the king. Now a club back. Declare cashes the 10 of spades and South's hand is high. Amazing. Amazing. Diamond the ace and South can claim. Just incredible stuff there. Is this what happened at every table? Let's find out. Yutong, 1 no trump making 2. No, so it wasn't the exact same thing that happened, but still did better than we did. So heart opening lead to the jack. Diamond back to the king. They do continue the 5 of hearts. So spade goes around to the jack and queen. And now what? Now they continue the queen of hearts. So Declare has a little bit more flexibility here, and South does not have an entry. Spade gets led up to the king and ace. Now North decides to cash the diamond ace. What? Dude, excuse me, what? I mean, technically Declare can set up a diamond trick themselves, low to the queen and a diamond back, but like, why not play on clubs? Maybe partner has a club entry to their good hearts. All right, ace of diamonds cashes, another diamond. Ace of clubs, club to the king, and Declare takes the spade finesse. Wow, what a player. I suppose they had a pretty strong count on the hand at that point. East did. South had turned up with 5 hearts, 1 diamond, and 3 clubs. So they knew to take the spade hook. But 1 no making 2, still better than my result. My result was terrible. Well done, though. I think this is a reasonable play. I like the club switch better from the first player that we looked at because as South, you really don't have another entry. Once the Queen of Spades is knocked out, that Queen of Clubs is never going to get you in. You don't have a club spot. So like even if you had Queen 7 third of clubs, maybe you could think like maybe the 7 forces the ace and I have an entry, but Queen 5 third of clubs, dummy has the 6. You're just never getting in. So let's take a look at the third table. Heart 76, one no trump making 1 is what happened here. So lots of different results, but man, minus 150 was not good. Heart opening lead around to the jack, a diamond up to the king, continues the 5 of hearts. So again, I mean, I think very clear to continue the Queen of Hearts, but obviously that makes Declare just play double dummy. Heart to the ace, spade back to the jack and queen. And now they continue the 8 of hearts. So this is a suit preference signal for clubs here. Declare pitches a club, leads a spade up to the king and ace. And so now the 8 of hearts back rather than the queen gets Declare or partner to do something different. They lead the 7 of clubs to the 9, queen, and ace. Now Declare panics and cashes the 10 of spades. Cashes the king of clubs, gets out a club. North is end played to give Declare a diamond trick, but one no trump making 1. Man, things could have gone so much differently, huh? Little did I know. I thought we were just doing normal things. On to the last board, board 5. So what happened at my table here? We ended up in 1 no trump and we got plus 90. Lots of interesting ideas in the play. Actually, on the video, someone left a fun comment. If you want to take a look, I did respond to it about alternative options to what I ended up doing. But the 7 of spades was led. This is high from 3 small, or a doubleton. So after this 10 of spades, Leah puts in the jack, and so I duck to start cutting communications. If we win the ace of spades, then the spade communication is established because West can just duck the second round of the suit and they'll be able to cash a bunch of spades. So a spade came back to the queen and I had to decide whether to work on diamonds or just lead a club up to the king. It looked pretty natural to try a club to the king, felt a bit slow to work on diamonds, and West was somewhat likely to have a diamond entry as well, meaning that, you know, either West has the ace of clubs, in which case club to the king would be fine, or if West doesn't have the ace of clubs, then West is probably going to get in at some point in diamonds after they knock out the ace of spades and then be able to cash spades. So I just did what looked natural, club to the king. Queen of diamonds came back. I gave them one more chance to go wrong, ducking, but then East played back a spade. And so after cashing a couple of hearts, I just ended up claiming. So what happened at the other tables? Because I did hear that at a bunch of tables, the opponents ended up leading clubs for you, which doesn't seem like the right thing for them to be doing, but how did it happen? So same auction, 7 of spades lead to the 10 and jack, and winning the ace. So this is a mistake, but I think this is a mistake that a lot of players are going to make. I would honestly say that ducking the jack of spades is probably like, you're not going to be doing this unless you're like an expert or a world-class player, and maybe most experts wouldn't even do this. Like, this is, I think, a far-sighted thing to think about on this sort of deal, and people are very worried. You know, it's like spade 10 jack. Well, if I duck, what if the king of spades is offside? So you first have to interpret the opening lead correctly. That's from a bunch of small cards. Then you have to realize that like you're cutting communication by ducking. And then, you know, you also have to consider what happens if West doesn't play back a spade, giving you the finesse. Like, yes, we do have an entry in the king of hearts, but that is our only entry. We might want that entry to do something else. So anyway, spade to the jack and ace. Looks like North worked on the diamond suit, elected to lead a diamond immediately. I think once again, this is just going to be too slow because the opponents get to win a diamond, duck a spade now, win the next diamond if you go ace and a diamond, and then cash a couple spades. And fine, I mean, we can throw a heart and a club from the North hand, but I think we end up losing tricks if we misguess the clubs from there, right? Like West gets in and switches to a club, and now what do we do? Also, like, we're just going to have to pitch our diamond winner from the south hand, even if the diamond's set up. So this all feels like a little bit short-sighted in working on diamonds. You just don't have the time to do so. You kind of do if you duck a spade, right? As long as you can keep West off lead. So there is an interesting alternative if you duck the opening lead, but not after winning the ace. So diamond goes to the jack, spade comes back, West wins the king. Yeah, so this is an error that the robots make, and I suppose this is an error that they make because of their tendency to lead second highest from 4 small, right? Like East could have had 9-7 fourth, yeah? And therefore, this is the way to unblock the spade suit. West wins the king, plays a spade back to the 9. But yeah, this time East had 3 small. So what happened now? Declare ended up cashing a bunch of hearts, led a diamond, won the ace, but West had thrown all of their spade winners. So ace of diamonds, diamond to the king, and now the opponents played clubs, and Declare was slated to get a club trick. So club to the ace, club back, and West held on to the 10 of clubs to hold Declare to 2. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, West kind of gets squeezed on the run of hearts. Maybe they should work out what's going on. Like, maybe a human would work out what's going on and pitch a bunch of clubs and hold on to their spade winners. But it's not so clear. Anyway, obviously West could have just ducked the second spade and kept communication in the suit. That would have been a much easier way to win the board on defense or do well on defense. Let's see what everyone else did. Yutong also won no trump making 2. I mean, we might see the same line of play at every table. Spade to the queen at trick 1. To the king, once again, same idea. You can just duck this trick, but they win the ace. They elect to run 4 rounds of hearts immediately. As West pitches diamond, and East throws a spade. So spade communication's been cut. And now when Declare ducks a diamond, diamond communication has been cut. So now spade goes back to the jack. West switches to the queen of clubs. Incredible. So let's see. Declare can cover. East wins the ace, plays back a club. Up with the jack. And now Declare just gets to cash the ace of diamonds and 9 of spades, but 1 no made 2. If I looked at your line of play, I might laugh. Maybe. We'll see. You can let me know if the third player took your line of play. But last board. All right, heart. This is where you can really impress me. Did you duck the opening spade lead? 7 of spades, 10, jack. We have a god gamer on our hands. Look at this guy. Okay, but it's not over, right? So spade goes back to the queen. Now what? Declare leads a club. Club to the king. So like, this is exactly my line of play so far. I'm card for card. We're playing, well, almost the exact same thing. Queen of diamonds comes back. Also ducked. And then a spade. So what happened? Wait, what happened? Wait, what did I do wrong? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So I ended up cashing a bunch of hearts. Same as them. And West pitched all these spades. I'm watching my line. Oh, I am watching my line. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's great. We're leaving that in the recording. But man, oopsies. All right, Heart, you have one chance. One chance. No! Oh, oh, oh. All right. Disappointment. Disappointment. Also, a pretty big missed opportunity here in the modern era with this username. They were so close to having a meme, but they missed it by maybe they're dyslexic is what's going on. For all you dyslexic kids out there, look at this. This is great. All right, same line of play. Declare elects to run the hearts immediately. Does duck a diamond. They have set up the 8 of hearts as an entry, so if they do manage to get the diamond set up, then they have a way over there. But yeah, now Declare just cashes out. Diamond to the ace, exits a diamond, but West once again has pitched all of their spades away. I mean, it's a difficult defense for West if Declare runs 4 rounds of hearts, I suppose. West has to make some choices, but I mean, obviously West could just like pitch diamonds, right? And just duck the second spade, and East could keep spades and pitch clubs, and anyway. Club comes back to the ace. Declare gets to win the king of clubs, plus 120. So lots of players ended up defeating me on that last board with this line of play. Sometimes the right technical play does not pay off. Okay, great. I don't know if that's interesting enough to make it worthwhile, but I'll see how the video does. I mean, if people like the video, then I will probably do more of that. We're currently only the celebrity once a month, and remember, it's going to be the first Sunday of every month.